Two things can be true at the same time. One, am I sort of cool with the idea of Bo Horvat having a full-on heel turn, turning his back on the Vancouver Canucks, throwing shade and making the comments about it in the media? Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's funny. I think it's entertaining. I think it's awesome. But at the same time, on the other hand, Bo, what the hell are you talking about, man? Are you serious? Really? That was so out of pocket. So incredibly unnecessary and out of pocket. What was the need to go out there and say that? Come on, man. You didn't have to do Canucks fans so dirty like that. Really? Really? After being the captain for so long, after being the face of this organization in terms of its leadership and on-ice presentation, you go out there and say that? What happened to the I want to be a Canuck for life? What happened to the statement that he made? Oh, we're going to hold Vancouver in a special place in our hearts. Ever since I was a teenager, I was here. And learning from Hank and Danny and everybody, I'll have Vancouver in a special place in my heart. What happened to that? What happened to that? Really? Okay. So, this topic is so big. And it's not even really a big topic. It's just a guy in the media, or not even in the media, in a post-game interview in front of his hometown fans saying, yeah, it's better than Vancouver. Like, it's not even really that big of a thing, but this topic was so huge in terms of the conversation it started that we're kicking off today's show with a conversation about Bo Horvat. Not because the Canucks are on the East Coast and they have priority over other teams, but because this topic is huge. Yeah, I know, it's 3 straight videos on the channel of Canucks videos. The Hronik video from yesterday, the Canucks versus Flames video from yesterday, and now it's the Bo video. Let's talk about what happened as the New York Islanders had themselves a game against, who did they play? I didn't even really catch that. The Islanders played the Philadelphia Flyers and they won 4-0. Okay, great. You had yourselves an interview done with former Canucks captain Bo Horvat after the fact. This was one of those interviews that's done in the arena, so you had somebody with a microphone talking to Bo, their voices were being projected to the rest of the fans in the arena, and they asked Bo about the push for the playoffs. What has it been like being in the building, experiencing the fans, and just having this anticipation and this sort of building up of momentum heading into the postseason, trying to claw your way in? They asked him, how has that been? And Bo goes out there and says, it's been unbelievable. A lot better than Vancouver, I'll tell you that for free. And the fans go wild. They chant and they cheer, and you hear some laughter from the commentators, and Bo has a smirk on his face, just an absolutely crap-eating grin that he doesn't wipe off until he's down in the tunnel and he leaves the interview. And a lot of Canucks fans saw this quote and they're like, wait a minute, where did that come from? Bo, are you kidding me? Come on, man. Why'd you have to do that? And like, this is the thing. Again, I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again. The fact that he went out there and said this, okay, obviously he's not lying. Like, there's no reason for Bo Horvat to make things up on the spot just to get heat or just to get love from the fans or whatever. If Bo Horvat says something like that, he's probably thinking about that in the back of his head. Like, I'm no psychiatrist, but based off of how he reacted to himself saying that, the little smirk, the confidence in how he said it, you could tell he's probably been thinking that for a little bit. And that's okay. Fine to go out there and think whatever it is that you want about your former employers, about your former home, about the fans that cheered you on, etc. in the past. But there's a difference between thinking it and there's a difference between saying it. And the question wasn't even something along the lines of, oh, if you had to compare New York and the playoff push and the atmosphere and the fans and the support and what it's like being here in the arena versus what it's been like in Vancouver in the same circumstances. It's not even like that. They just asked him, hey, what's it like chasing the playoffs and having the support from the fans? And he's like, yeah, it's a lot better than Vancouver, I'll tell you that for free. That comment was so out of pocket, and at the same time, I love to hear it, because at least the guy's being honest and displaying his overall feelings towards the Canucks and the organization here in Vancouver in probably the most uncalled for way possible. It's weird for me personally because one hand, I like it. It's cool that we're seeing the personality. On the other hand, it hurts. It really does. Come on, man. That was not necessary. And I think when it comes to the former players in the NHL, like guys that had been playing on other teams in the past, I can't really recall off the top of my head anybody saying something like this, aside from like the other ones that we had just talked about. Jesperi Kotkaniemi called out the Canadiens, and he said that being in Carolina allows him to have a stress-free life. You had Eichel kind of talking shade about the Buffalo Sabres in the past. I think there was some stuff with Dubois too, but at the end of the day, you almost never see players, especially former captains, talk smack about their old teams like this. And you could say that Bo is not necessarily dissing Vancouver or the city or the fans or whatever. You could say he's dissing the team, the organization, the management. You could say that he was never set up with a team by this management to compete for a playoff spot and therefore get the atmosphere in the building, etc., etc. But at the same time, it's like, dude, they asked you about what it's like being there with the fans and all that. Vancouver saying that it's a lot better in New York than in Vancouver. Well, like, I mean, whose fault is that? Like, this guy was the captain of the team for so long, and they didn't accomplish anything in front of the fans in Vancouver. Bo Horvat had one playoff run in the bubble where he was amazing, but that wasn't in front of the fans. Bo Horvat had three playoff games in front of a hometown Vancouver crowd, and he was a rookie when that happened. No playoff runs in Vancouver, and you're the captain of the team when they go through this stint. 2020 doesn't really count in that same way in the context of the question asking about the atmosphere and the building and the fan support. So, Vancouver, who is already down in the dumps, they're already eliminated, they already made this big trade. Bo Horvat gets a huge money contract from New York, a money dollar amount that is way out of Vancouver's price range, and then he goes out there and says that, yeah, no, it's a lot better here than in Vancouver, I'll tell you that for free. Well, guess what? Bo Horvat's been producing a lot less in New York, I'll tell you that for free as well. This is sort of why this topic blew up, because Canucks fans are butthurt. I'm kind of butthurt too. Don't worry, it's okay to say that we're butthurt. We're okay admitting things like that. Like, wow, our former captain goes out there and is immediately talking smack about our team after he gets traded, and he says a whole heartfelt thing on Instagram about he'll always have Vancouver in a special place in his heart. Man, this is a heel turn for the ages, and I'm all here for it. I'm conflicted because it hurts, but at the same time, the pain feels so good. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Bo Horvat conversation. If you wanted my overall, like, I don't know, objective opinion or whatever, like, I'll kind of just say the same thing. He's free to say whatever he wants. That is completely fine. And something like this gets everybody talking. Something like this gets the media going. It makes storylines, etc. And I kind of like that. It gives me things to talk about. But at the same time, Bo, we're allowed to fight back. And that's kind of what a lot of Canucks fans are doing on social media too. Sure, the Vancouver Canucks were not really primed for much success when Bo Horvat was here. Benning and co did not really do all too great of a job in building a good team around Bo Horvat, and the only time they did, it was in a bubble year where you couldn't really get that fan support, and a good chunk of their core were going to expire that same offseason, and they didn't re-sign any of them. Stetcher, Tanev, Markstrom, Toffoli, all gone. That was a good chunk of the team's depth, and the acquisitions they made to recuperate those talents were not great, and Bo Horvat was never really put in a great position to succeed, but at the same time, he was the captain and he was the main guy during this dark phase of Vancouver hockey. So, I don't know, take your pick. Was Bo Horvat's lack of playoff success in Vancouver partly his fault, or was it only the management's fault? I feel like you could divide things up into percentages. Like, okay, Bo Horvat's leadership as a Canuck captain was good in the media, but you gotta remember all the times that the guy went out there and said that we just didn't start well, we didn't do this, we didn't do that, and like, that became such a normal thing for Bo to say that it became sort of a meme, honestly, like amongst the fan base. And now the guy is gone and he's talking more so about how it's better being in the island than in Vancouver. Like, that kind of rubs me the wrong way, man. But at the same time, if Bo goes out there and has a full-on heel turn and continues down this path of talking smack, then it gives us more video topics to talk about, I guess. So, thoughts in the comment section below about Bo Horvat and the entire conversation with him and the Islanders. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.